Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are performance Jaguar specialists. I usually start videos about XKs and XKRs by talking about how hard it is to find really good ones these days. And it is very hard, and getting harder, of course, as time goes by. And that's what makes it so rewarding when we find a car like this. It's a 59 plate XKR convertible. It looks stunning in Lunar Grey over Ivory and Oyster in the cockpit. And it is in unbelievably good condition, especially when you consider that it has travelled nearly 55,000 miles. That's much higher mileage than we usually consider on XKRs. But this car's brilliant condition means that it holds its head up high on our stock list. And I am, of course, very excited indeed to show you around. There is something timeless about the XKR design. If you compare it to other Grand Tourers of the same era from the likes of Aston Martin and Maserati perhaps, their designs, I'm sorry to say, have dated and they look old-fashioned nowadays, whereas the clean, crisp lines of the XKR look, I dare say, every bit as good now as they did 15 or 16 years ago when these cars were new. And then we come to this particular one. Well, what a beautiful aesthetic. Lunar Grey paintwork with these beautiful Tacoba wheels, 20-inch alloy wheels, freshly refurbished in perfect condition. And then, of course, this gorgeous Oyster and Ivory cockpit. More of that in a moment or two. But for now, I just want to focus on some of the design features. We have this beautiful spoiler on the tailgate there. We've got the badging, of course, all in chrome with the Leaper logo there in the centre and these gorgeous quad tailpipes indicating, along with the haunches, the power that is residing under the bonnet of this beautiful Jaguar. Everywhere we look around this car, the condition is just sensationally good. I was enormously surprised when I went to see it. I was expecting things to be in a different world to the way they are. It is a car which clearly, although it's been enjoyed and it has driven 54,500 miles, it has been so delicately cared for and so diligently maintained that it presents now in this absolutely stunning condition. And that is as true here on the outside as it is where we're heading next, inside the cockpit. We'll supply the car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but there's no need to have the key fob in your hand because the keyless entry system detects the key is very close by, and you simply walk up to the car and grasp and pull the handle. The car unlocks, the power fold mirrors move out into position, and we can look into this beautiful cockpit. And what a very refined and relaxing palette this is. Beautiful ivory leather with the rest of the furnishings in Oyster, and then pistol grip aluminium as the final trim finishes on the doors and dashboard. And it's all in such fabulous order. Looking at this door card to start with, you can see that it is in amazing condition, unblemished, unmarked. The seats there, the 16-way memory seats, are a wonderful feature on this car, which makes it very easy for a couple to have this car and share the driving without having to make lots of adjustments. And of course they have side lumbar support, base of the spine lumbar support, and support under the thighs, all of which are adjustable there too. We've got Bowers and Wilkins sound on this car, a fantastic stereo system, so that you can enjoy your music as you're driving. And as we pan round, look at this leather, which we have refurbished using factory techniques. It is in stunningly good order, unblemished, unmarked, and ready to delight whoever is going to take this car onwards on its journey through time and along roads. Just a quick word, by the way, about the rear seats of the XKR. Now, this is very definitely a 2+2, not a 4-seater. You can see with the front seats all the way back, there is no legroom in the back. That is not to say that you can't make some legroom exist there. All you have to do is put the front seats a few inches forward, and then it is possible to seat a couple of adults in the rear for a short journey. But please don't think about trying to take 4 adults from London to Scotland in an XKR. That will not end well because it is a vehicle which is definitely 2+2. Temporary accommodation for a couple of adults in the back. Easier if they're kids, but of course what is very handy is that if you are touring, that space there can be used for luggage, shopping and so forth very easily. Okay, we'll sit down into the car now. And again, it's just a feeling of a very refined and luxurious, and I dare say opulent environment. These beautiful light tones, quite unlike what you see on a lot of grand touring and sports cars, do make for a very relaxed feeling in this cockpit. Looking in more detail, between the seats here, we've got the centre armrest, of course, that slides back to reveal the twin cup holders and lifts up there to reveal a useful cubby hole. We've got a USB socket and iPod socket so that you can plug in your entertainment device. If the car loses electronic contact with the key, it will ask you to put it into the little slot there, and that will reconnect the key fob and the vehicle. Okay, we'll put the armrest down, and to explore further, we will fire up the supercharged V8. So my foot on the brake, my finger on the start button, and we will see the instrument binnacle light up there. Service required message. We're going to service this vehicle, of course, before we hand it over to its next keeper. And you can see such a lovely dashboard. Crisp, clear information, not too much, but the things that you require straight in front of you there. And the infotainment system comes to life as well. The engine revs, by the way, they're at about 1400 at the moment. That's because the catalytic converter is being warmed up. That will reduce to its normal RPM very shortly once the catalytic converter is happy. Okay, back down to the center console, and we'll have a look at these switches and so forth. Electronic parking brake pretty well takes care of itself. It disengages as you drive off. No need to do anything. Enter drive, press the accelerator, the parking brake releases, and it does have hill start assist there as well. Then we've got the dynamic driving mode switch, and that sharpens up the car's steering, engine map, gearbox and suspension to give you a sharper and more dynamic driving experience in this wonderful, and I must say this is a Grand Tourer, but it's a Grand Tourer which you absolutely could take on a track day and have enormous fun with. It's powerful, it's agile, it is a wonderful vehicle to pilot through a series of bends, I can tell you. Next to the dynamic mode switch, we've got the switch which turns the cruise control into an active speed limiter. Very handy in the motorway roadworks. Then we've got rain, ice and snow mode. That calms the car down very considerably for wintry, slippery conditions on the road. Particularly, it softens the throttle map enormously so that this powerful rear-wheel drive car is easy to drive in those road conditions. And then next to that, we've got the DSC stability control off switch, which again, if you're going to go on the track, you might turn that off and have a huge amount of fun. Then we come to this beautiful gear selector. We're in park at the moment. We flick round into reverse, neutral, drive, and then push down and rotate into sports gearbox mode, which again holds the revs higher, gives you a more engaging, more dramatic and theatrical experience when driving the car. Okay, back round into park, and we can look at the infotainment and HVAC. So heating, ventilation, air conditioning down here. Temperature selector for the passenger and driver. Auto button, and then we've got the front electric windscreen demisting. That is those tiny wires through the windscreen which heat up and clear the windscreen so effectively in cold weather. Then we've got the rear demist, and of course the front blown air demist. And that's the recirc button there, very useful when the car is cold or hot, to recirculate the system and either cool it down or warm it up more rapidly. CD player, of course, which you may choose to use, or you can use the DAB and FM radio. There are ways of plugging a phone in through those sockets in the center console as well, and I'll talk about CarPlay in just a moment or two also. And then up from there to the infotainment screen, and we've got 3 buttons underneath it here. That's the off button. Then we've got the hazard warning light switch there, conveniently in the middle, and to the right of that, the home screen for the infotainment. And you can see there that we're on the home screen, and from here we can go to audio, which is switched off at the moment, but we'll switch that on like so. And we've got DAB radio there. Various stations to select. We've also got AM, FM and CD player, and then the portable audio options, of course. Back to the home screen and the climate controls, where we can direct the airflow around the cockpit as we wish, and we can switch on the seat heating and cooling. They're 3-stage heating and 3-stage cooling, absolutely marvellous in extremes of temperature, and the heated steering wheel there as well, and then we can turn the air conditioning off on this screen as well. Back to the home screen, and by the way, notice that we've got those seat and steering wheel controls right here, so when we get into the car, the first thing we see is the controls that we most want when the weather is either hot or cold. Okay, then phone, of course, we've got Bluetooth telephony in this car, very easy to make and receive calls, very crisp and clear audio for those calls as well. Back to the home screen once more, and navigation, and here, if we agree with those comments, we can see a nice crisp clear map. It's easy to program your destination, easy to understand the instructions and so forth. And then we go back to the home screen and we can look at the vehicle settings. Here we have a variety of options to set things such as the trip computer, clock, the illumination and brightness of the screen, system settings and vehicle settings, and so forth. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we can actually fit CarPlay to an XK or XKR for you. There is an additional cost, but it does give you full CarPlay or Android Auto functionality on that screen, which is an absolutely marvellous thing to have. Okay, across from there to the steering wheel, and you can see, oh, and it's warming up. That heated steering wheel is fantastic. On the left-hand side here, we've got the infotainment buttons and the Bluetooth telephony button. On the right-hand side, we've got the cruise control with the up-down, the speed increase and decrease. That also activates the cruise control, and we've got the resume and cancel buttons there as well. And then the left-hand stalk for the automatic headlights, and on the right-hand stalk, the rain-sensitive wipers. And we've got the flappy paddles, of course, there on the steering wheel, so that you can shift gear while you're manoeuvring and keep total control of the car. Then finally, if I move the camera carefully, you'll see down there above my right knee, we've got the instrument binnacle dimmer, and we've got the rear fog lights, petrol cap release, and the boot release as well, all very cleverly to hand. And finally, I just want to remark about the fact that this cockpit is in such incredible order. It is amazingly clean and crisp and correct. There are no blemishes, there are no marks, there are no gouges in the leather. This car has been so diligently and carefully looked after, and to present in this state at this mileage is a true feather in the cap of those people who've been fortunate to drive the car in the past. Okay, we'll switch the engine off and take a look next at the convertible roof. So the roof in this car, very easy to operate. I'll switch the electrics on so we have control of it. And to close the roof, simply press and hold the button here, and you can see the roof enclosure opens up. The roof itself folds out into position like so, and then maneuvers itself so that the compartment into which it stows can close, and at the same time the front end of the roof comes down, latches into the windscreen surround, and then the windows come up and the front windows come up, and the procedure is completed in only a very few seconds. And that's an important thing, because of course if you're dodging rain showers on a beautiful sunny hot day, you want the roof down at the traffic lights quickly, don't you? You don't want to have to stop and park somewhere simply to open or close the roof. Likewise, in order to open the roof, just press and hold the button here. The windows go down, the roof unlatches from the windscreen surround, folds itself up, and the compartment into which it's going to disappear opens, and it then folds itself down into the compartment there, and the lid comes down as well, and the process is complete there. So quick to operate, easy and reliable. The roofs on these XKRs are fabulous, and we have just, by the way, for aesthetic reasons, the fabric of the roof on this car was not in the condition we'd like, so this car has a brand new convertible roof on it, in stunning condition, of course, brand new throughout, fitted professionally by specialists, and that roof is going to give you a very, very lengthy, trouble-free motoring, and of course looks absolutely sensational because the roofs on these cars can let them down as they age. Okay, that's the roof. Next stop is in the boot. So I've put the roof up again because I want to show you the boot separator, which needs to be in position so that you can lower the roof, because the roof does occupy a little bit of space in the boot when it is folded down. To unlock or open the boot, you can either use the button by the driver's right knee or the button on the remote there, or indeed there is a button on the tailgate itself. And then lifting up, we can see this boot space, which is not, I'll admit, the largest in the world, but it is a practical space if you use it sensibly. Look at this void at the rear. It is pretty well the full width of the car. It's good and deep, and you could easily get one very large holdall or a couple of smaller holdalls in there. Or indeed, as I always say to people, if you're going to go touring in particular, treat yourself to some bespoke luggage that exactly fits the space, uses all the space effectively, and yet looks really good as you walk up to the hotel. And those bespoke sets will include usually a clothes bag which goes under there and uses the space under the boot separator. And to show you the boot separator, here it is. We lift up like so and articulate it round like that. And in that position now we've got, of course, more boot space, but it's not possible with the boot separator stowed to put the roof down, obviously, because the roof goes into that area that it separates and protects. Again, I hope you can see everything in here in stunningly good order, clean and correct, no stains, no marks, nothing nasty. We've got these beautiful chrome and rubber rails. That's the kind of thing you would only get in a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce these days, I dare say. And if we lift up, by the way, under the floor there, we have got the Space Saver spare wheel kit with the jack and the other tools and so forth, all in fine condition. Okay, we'll close the boot and come round to the passenger side of the car. And on the way, by the way, I should have said, let's have a look at this roof, because this is, as I say, a brand new roof on the car. It is in fabulous order, tight and correct, fitting absolutely perfectly in every regard. We're very pleased indeed with the result here. And I'm sure as time goes by and we carry on retailing XKs and XKRs, we'll be fitting more replacement roofs. This one has been an absolute delight. Okay, back to the passenger door here, and you can see again the door card is in stunning order, crisp and correct, no marks, no blemishes, just as it left the factory. And likewise the tread plate and carpet and mat and dashboard, centre console, and this beautiful seat in soft, beautiful ivory leather in perfect condition. And by the way, Oyster seat belts as well. What a clever addition that is to go with the light Oyster interior. Okay, one place left to go, and that is there in the most important place of all, perhaps, under the bonnet as we head into the engine compartment. Well, it's a big bonnet, isn't it? And it's a big engine bay, because that's a big engine. Under the cover, we have the supercharger, and under the supercharger, the 5-litre V8 producing 510 horsepower, connected to the rear wheels, of course, as some people will argue sports cars and grand touring cars should be. And through the ZF 6-speed gearbox, a legendary gearbox in automotive engineering terms for its reliability and smoothness and speed of operation. And that power plant drives this car from 0 to 60 in just 4.6 seconds and on to a top speed artificially limited at 155 miles per hour. Now, those are impressive figures, of course, but that's not what this car is about. This car is about the pleasure of ownership. It's about the connection in particular that you feel, as you would in an F-Type, between you as the driver, your hands and feet on the controls, the car and its responses, and the road beneath you and your journey. And that is the exquisite pleasure that the XKR delivers. And that's the feedback we get from people who have these cars. They love them. It is such an iconic Grand Tourer now, and it's such a pleasure to have these in our lives here at Sports and Touring. And by the way, under the bonnet here, I hope you can see everything is in fabulous order. Very good service history with this car from Jaguar main dealers until very recently, and then an independent specialist. It has passed, of course, all of our inspections without any issues. We will be servicing it before handover to the next keeper. It's driving absolutely perfectly, and it is waiting to thrill the next person lucky enough to be putting the keys in their pocket. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been a great pleasure to show you this beautiful XKR. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions about the car, or if you'd like to arrange to see it in person or by video viewing. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder of higher resolution photographs, which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents. If you've got a car to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details are coming next.